What's going on, guys? It's your boy Burroaks 77 coming to you live with Matkafee. This is Friday afternoon edition of Box to Box. We're going to run through the soccer slate, talk about some different bets. I'm currently trying to pull the Serie A game up on my TV so I can watch along with you guys. Grab some action early on. I took Bologna in under 2.5, and then I also took Bologna to keep a clean sheet. Um, Spiza's scored a grand total of 4 away goals in Serie A this year. One of them was a 2 goal win on the road in Udinese that I was on the wrong end of. The other ones, they scored one each. So I don't, Spiza struggles to score goals on the road. Bologna is very, very good at protecting their house. So that's what we're riding right now. Got some good games today. Got some good games for the weekend. Um, we're going to hold off on talking about the City Arsenal match just because we'll have lineups by the time we circle back to that towards the end. And I don't necessarily want to spend, 20 minutes going over the match and then have lineups come out different than we expect and then go do 20 more minutes on the match. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'd like to shout out our sponsors, Boom. Boom is a new sponsor of ours that does daily pride, picks, lines, different stuff like that. And also shout out our sponsors, Pickett, who've been with us for a while now. Camera left. Yep, there we go. Pickett. So yeah, shout out those guys. Shout out Gold Boys Network for hosting us as always. Today we have a couple of interesting ones. Like I said, we have City versus Arsenal. We'll come back to that a little later in the show when we get lineups. We got a nice match with RB Leipzig playing Stuttgart coming up here at 2:30. RB Leipzig is on a nice little roll. They played very, very well at home and tough. Ended up coming out with a 1-1 draw versus Byron, which is always good to see. And then they absolutely dominated Shackle like a lot of teams have been doing. They won 6-1, gave up a little cheap one there in the second half. Stuttgart isn't particularly good. They're shoot. Yeah, they're 15th on the table, 3 wins, 7 draws, 7 losses. They have scored 21 goals in 17 games, though. So I like this one for a bold team to score over 2.5.
Yeah, I think games definitely got some potential on it for sure. That Schalke match was extremely profitable. Um, hit it a couple different ways, and uh, I think I'm going to go back to the cash cow here. I think that you look at the form. Stuttgart's home form is much stronger than their away form, where they failed to pick up a win. They are 4 defeats, 4 draws, and have conceded 19 goals in 8 matches. So only picking up 4 points over 8 matches. Most of their accumulation has been at home. And Leipzig, uh, alternatively, are a wagon at home. They have 2 draws, but they have 6 wins out of the 8 with 20 goals scored and only 6 conceded. So I do think they could lack a little concentration. I think, like what you mentioned, Stuttgart might be able to grab a goal, but I think I'm gonna attack once I see this Leipzig lineup. I'm assuming Werner starts. I'm assuming um, Silva starts. Those 2 guys, both of their goal scoring props are in play. You could even potentially parlay them, which was a hit last game. I'm looking at team total potentially here as well as a nice spot, maybe even first half team total. 2 goals for Leipzig in the first half is plus 215. I think that's a really nice price. I think I'm going to get down on that action. Again, all pending lineups. There could be some crazy surprises here, but I'm suspecting, we'll see Olmo, we'll see uh, Timo, and we'll see Andre Silva in there as well. And so I'm confident that they can take care of business here. Stuttgart, not a disaster of a team, but they certainly haven't been good on the road. So I think I'm going to fade them here in this spot.
Yeah, look out for Olmo props. He's absolutely on a fucking rip right now. Olmo goal, Olmo assist. Um, he's back from injury. He really does it all. He pulls a lot of strings for this Leipzig team. Um, I disagree with Silva. I mean he played well last game against Schalke, a relegation bound team. And that's great. Silva reminds me a lot of Morata. Talked about this with Leg the other day. He stands there and he gets some tap ins occasionally, but he's not playing great football. In my opinion, Forsberg is playing much better football than him. I thought that taking Forsberg off for Werner in the Byron game was a terrible mistake. Whatever. RB ended up grinding out a draw there. I think they could probably go ahead and get a win if they subbed Werner for Silva. Forsberg was playing really well. He was in on a clear goal chance, if not one on one with the keeper in the back of the net. If Silva's big dumb ass doesn't fall down while he's holding the ball in the 7th minute versus Bayern. Yeah, I wasn't particularly impressed with how Silva played versus Byron. I thought he should have been off for Werner when Forsberg came off. So I like what Forsberg brings to the table. He's very competent, and if he's in the lineup, I'll definitely take a look at him because he should also be the PK taker. Sometimes they try and force it to Silva if he's in a bad slump, but Forsberg's PKs are ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Forsberg though, like for that Bayern match, like what you were
On
saying,
your goal, let's fucking go.
nice. Who grabbed it?
Don't know. It was a nice one though. He's put it right on the top of the roof.
Nice.
Nice chip shot, good pace.
Good deal. Yeah, I don't have the match on in front of me, but yeah, well, I mean, I think Leipzig here will take care of business. And yeah, it was punching down a little bit, taking care of a team like Schalke where Silva had a brace. Um, I think Stuttgart are just marginally better than Schalke. Uh,
Yeah.
and so it's a similar type of opponent where I feel like it'll be Leipzig early and often, and they could run up another crooked score line here. So I think I'm going to lock that in as a play here. Just as soon as I see those lineups here in 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, it was posh, however you want to say it. It was super nice. Came in on a cross. The guy behind Posh kind of controlled the ball a little bit. He one touched it out of the air over the keeper's head, right on that back line of the net between the roof and the backing. So really nice chip shot. Bologna up 1-0, 37 minutes into the game. Um, hopefully they just grind out a 1-0 victory here. That would be perfect. 2-0, I'm fine with as well. Gotta keep it under
Yeah,
2.5 though for the long odds prop.
there you go. Good luck.
Um,
I know the chat was asking about a Timo Werner win cast. I definitely think that's the play. If as long as he's in there starting. I'm not sure why he wouldn't be coming off of a goal, but I know he was also coming off of an injury that forced him to miss the World Cup. So, and plus, there's a lot of guys in form, in this Leipzig team. But I do think he starts, and I will probably be on some form of that. If you
yeah,
want
with
to,
no Nkanku,
yeah,
Timo's the guy. Like Timo's the guy there. If he's healthy, he's starting. Um, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's. I
I
think,
definitely agree. The one thing I would just say is like make sure you're getting a significant price difference between his anytime goal and his win cast. Like if adding win cast is only getting you an extra plus 10 or plus 15, it's soccer. Anything could happen. This game could end 1-1. As we've seen with Byron lately, they are not the wagon that they were pre-World Cup. So if adding the money line at almost minus 300 on RB Leipzig isn't getting you actual value, then I would leave the win cast off and just take the goal.
Yeah, like it moves at least on FanDuel. I have pulled up here, which most people have, and which I like to try to use for the show because it's the biggest book here in the states, and it moves Timo's anytime from minus 105 to plus 131, which I
Yeah,
think is
that's a
a
big
nice
enough
book.
jump.
And I
Yep.
think you could even add team total goals in there if you have the goals tab. I don't see them winning a 1-0 here. So I would even tickle it up a little bit more. Of course, every leg you add is a potential, point of failure. But Leipzig are just not the type of team to grind out a 1-0. And so home team, you pop in over 1.5. That gives you an extra 12, no, 14 cents there. I mean, you can kind of play around, get that thing into some good money. Um, but I do like it a lot. I think it'll be uh, smooth sailing for Leipzig, but famous last words.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I will probably be looking at Olmo assist because he is on one. That said, the Italian over there on the right wing is also always a good look for an assist. He had a nice one versus Byron. I don't really care about this other Italian game today, Lecce versus Salinastra. That one's kind of a bum game. I do like the Almeria Espanyol matchup. Almeria, especially at home, scores goals. Espanyol has Joselu. Both teams to score is right around even money here. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think Espanol could could probably nick it if you want to take a side here. At plus 220, it might be worth a stab.
They
Almeria,
did just beat the Betis at home.
yeah, it's a mid-table clash here, so variance is in play. I think that it's live, and obviously you won't have lineups for another 45 minutes or so for that match. So, um, you can largely go to the Twitter and sites and make sure that nobody's carrying an injury and kind of figure out their starting lineup. But yeah, they've got some goal scorers in that team, um, and I do think that they'll have enough. Uh, both teams score might
No,
be the same way.
Jose Lu's not injured, so that's really
Yeah.
kind of all that matters as far as Espanol goes. He's healthy and ready to roll. So yeah, I like both teams to score right around even money. I think that's a nice play for today.
Cool. Anything?
Um, over
On
the weekend,
okay.
Yeah, over the weekend, we have FA Cup in England. There's some stuff worth talking about there. Not a whole ton. Obviously, with some of the lower division teams, you're not going to get very great prices on EPL teams and EPL player props, especially playing lower division teams. But I think we do have a couple of nice lower division matchups that are worth talking about. Bristol City hosting West Brom, I think, is a really nice opportunity. West Brom's been playing great or very good football lately, especially with the return of Daryl DK. Shout out the young American for being back in the lineup. Daryl DK has an awesome game. If you didn't watch him over in the MLS when he played for Orlando, you kind of missed out. He's a very big body guy, almost kind of like a Lukaku build. He's good on aerials and set pieces. He's got a great finish. I like him a lot. If I see him in the lineup, I'll probably take him for a goal on Saturday. He is coming off injury, though, so his minutes have been kind of held to right around 60 to 65, 70. So there is a minutes concern with him. but West Brom is playing good football. They should be able to take care of business. I like them plus 120 versus Bristol City.
I haven't dug in that deep, but I looking at the slate, uh, I'll do more of a deep dive in the morning and kind of make sure. Yeah, the Premier League teams, you'll see a lot of rotation. You'll see some fringe players kind of come in, and the bench will be cleared out on some of these. Like Manchester United versus Reading. You should
Yeah,
see.
Man U's way more concerned about the EPL table than they are about this cup.
Right. Yeah. You'll see a change side there. Spurs maybe not because it's a chance for them to win a trophy. So Kane and Son against Preston might be a good look. They do like to beat up the teams that they can. So that could potentially be a nice little spot. Fulham hosting Sunderland. I'm not sure. Silva he seems like Fulham are in no danger. Halfway through the season, it seems like they're going to be a mid-table team and maybe push for like the if somebody trips and falls, maybe they can sneak a European spot. But I think they're going to
Yeah,
be
they
more.
might be able to get like seventh for Conference
Yeah,
League.
yeah. I just wonder if their focus is going to be on the league. They've got a big enough squad. I think they'll rotate. But if Mitrovic is playing, obviously you'll want to play him against a team like Sunderland. Kind of looking at the rest. I know Leeds.
Sunderland's pretty good for a lower table team. I know they just came up a division. I haven't kept great track of them this year, but they were definitely playing very good football last year.
Yeah, used to be a top division side. If you been a fan of English soccer for a long time, you'll have known. They were pretty consistently a top division side, and good documentary on Netflix if you don't know about it or you're
Yeah,
just getting into it. You can follow the story of Sunderland, how they kind of fell and went down the league table. That's definitely we're not paid by Netflix; they're not a sponsor, but I will say that is a good show. Worth if you're looking for something to stream. It's definitely quality. But yeah,
that
let's
and
go ahead.
Captains was really good too. If you especially right before the World Cup, I really enjoyed watching Modric, Silva, Aubameyang, and all of that. But yeah, back a little more to the soccer. I tend to
Yeah,
agree with you. Fulham's playing great football, especially at home. And it's going to be really tough for Sunderland to go in there and try and get a W. The other line I thought was great is Burnley versus Ipswich. Ipswich is at home, which is why we're getting a nice number on Burnley. Burnley is absolutely wrecking champion football in England. I think they have damn near 60 goals already this season. They don't concede a ton, but they do concede a cheap one every now and again. The fact that you can get Burnley at almost plus 120, I love it. Take Burnley money line.
yeah. Since this is a U.S. based show, and I know you got a soft spot. Well, we all do for Leeds. With all the Americans that are there. Looks like they're lining up a move for Weston McKennie, which it looks like it's initially a loan with an option to buy. Uh, what do you make of that? You want to see McKennie leave Juve and come to the Premier League?
I mean, yeah, I'm a soft Leeds fan. I would love to see that. I think that if people think Juve is going to clear house and get rid of a bunch of people because of a 15-point deduction, I think you're tripping. I think Juve have a team that can go ahead and compete still for a European spot. They might not get UCL next year, but they'll get Europa League or at least Europa Conference League. They're a top six team in Italy. They just are. Especially if Vahulovic comes back and Pogba comes back. Like that team's stacked. Like they're still ready to compete for top of the table, even with a 15-point deduction. I do have to bust your balls a little bit because Jesse Marsh currently still has a job. They're letting
I
him
was saying
shop
if they,
players, try
I
and
was
make
saying,
signings.
I was saying if they lost in the chat
Yeah,
that day. Obviously they didn't lose, but yeah, if they lose, big clarification there. But yeah, I mean, you just got to go back. I mean, Leeds, their form, they have gotten some draws, but I mean, you look, they drew 0-0 with Brentford. The Cardiff FA Cup victory was nice, but a loss to Villa. A draw with West Ham, a draw with Newcastle, a loss to Man City. We're going all the way back to November 22nd for their last win in the league, which was a 4-3 uh, over Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
And so that's a lot. That I mean, I'm not saying I don't want. I'm not rooting for his failure. I want Leeds to succeed, and I want Marsh to succeed, and I want the U.S. guys. I just know that um, the rope is not long unless you start getting some wins. So I think the pressure is on. I think the jury's still out with the Leeds support if they are fully behind him or not, which matters more. Uh, the local noise, that's what ownership listens to a little bit more than international media and stuff. But yeah, I hope they can turn it around here. I do want to see them push back up. It's a huge club.
Yeah,
Used to,
I think they're playing good football too. I mean,
result, yeah, it's just the results haven't
the
matched.
results, yeah. But I mean, going on the road and getting a draw in Newcastle is huge. You're a little disappointed with the draw against Brentford at home. But Brentford's damn near playing top six football right now. I think we all were a little shocked that that one didn't have any goals in it because that one screamed goals. 0-0 draw there shows a lot of guts and a lot of grit by Leeds. So I think they're playing good football. They're definitely playing a super entertaining, fun to watch brand of football. If you like goals and action, watching Jesse Marsh's high press get run is a great way to spend an afternoon because he
Oh, yeah.
plays really fun to watch football. That said, that obviously I don't think that you're rooting against Leeds. I
No,
just wanted to
definitely
bust the
not.
balls a little bit on the Jesse Marsh having a job deal.
I just I look at the table and I see they're 1 point out of the relegation zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, along
It's
with
time
like
to get
7 other teams.
time to get some wins. Yeah, right now it looks like Leicester. Uh, really, I mean, Palace are got a 20. They're up to 24. Forest is at 21, but then there's let's see, 7 teams with 18 or less.
Yeah,
And so it's crazy. Wolves are spending some insane money here. They're really investing in it. It's we're just I've watched
Wolves
this
might be
league.
back.
Yeah, I've watched this league so long that I know that in this period of like February and March is when heads start to roll. Because there's the ownership sees, oh crap, we've got 12 games left. We got to save our season or something dramatic. And so yeah, I want to see them kick on, and I'd like to see McKennie come into the Premier League because I believe once Pogba's back, he will be sent to the bench. McKennie will not be a starter at Juve, so
Yeah.
I don't want to see our American internationals um, relegated to super sub roles. I hate that Pulisic is just trapped at Chelsea here. I think
Word
it's
is
been
he might go to Milan.
Man, yeah, I know that Gazidis is there. He's an American. He was at Arsenal before he moved to AC Milan. Arsenal fans don't really have anything nice to say about even Gazidis, but it's one of those things. They AC Milan already have a starting left winger, and so is Leao
Yeah,
leaving?
but Liao's just, I mean, we're all assuming Liao's gone after
Uh,
this
yeah, I
summer
mean,
transfer window.
I yeah, it's kind of he said he likes it there, and I've heard noise that they're
Of course
trying
he
to
does, but he's approaching $100 million
yeah
$100 million contract after what he's done.
yeah I think some big names will be in for him. from the Premier League and from potentially, Spain. But it's an interesting one. Last thing I want to see him go though is to sit behind Leao at AC Milan. I'm hoping if there's some form of a swap where Chelsea are getting Leao the other way, then I guess that makes some sense. But gosh, Chelsea, they just got Mudryk, and they got Nkunku coming in the
Yeah,
summer.
I don't think
How
Leao's
many
going
how
to
many wingers
Chelsea.
are they going to play next year? They're going to have
I don't think Leao's going to Chelsea. I think he's got a bigger move in mind, where he will continue to play Champions League football. Because sorry, Chelsea, you're not playing Champions League football right now, and
yeah.
with the team you got, I don't see you getting into the top four. So, but yeah, we'll stay Italy because I definitely like a match on Saturday. There's not really a ton to talk about, but Atalanta is absolutely on a fucking rip. They're scoring two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals on people. They get Sampdoria, who's absolutely ass water, bottom of the table, concedes a ton of goals in Serie A. I really like Atalanta team total over 2.5 here at plus 130. Lookman is sitting right around plus 160 for a goal. Hoyland, who's on a fucking rip after the World Cup, Denmark kid, is playing great football. He's plus 145 ish. So those are two goal scorers I look for, and I think Atalanta runs it up again. They're in great form.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Zapata's kindly been moved aside here, and they realize that maybe we got to go with the younger legs. He's been there for
He's
five or
been hurt
six.
his entire career.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that him and Muriel. We all remember 4 or 5 years ago, if you do remember when Atalanta were in the Champions League and were really in their best form uh, of this century. It's time they've kind of shifted it a little bit towards Lookman and Hoyland, and I think that's a dangerous attack, and I do think they should
Especially
probably
with
handle.
Zappacosta distributing there in the middle. He's been playing really well too.
Yeah, they should handle Sampdoria. I think so. And uh, do you think Inter has a bounce back spot here after an early red card? I mean, they're probably
Yeah,
going
I
to be a
mean it's
double team.
Inter versus Cremonese. Like the line's minus 600 for a reason. Inter definitely should train here.
So with Brozovic is out. He's been out for a while. Handanovic has been out for a while. Those are two key players, and then Barea and Skriniar are two key players as well. They're both suspended for this one. So I think it. While I agree, I don't necessarily agree with the price. I feel like their depth is going to be tested a little bit here, especially in the engine room. Um, Away from home's always tough, but when you can throw Jekko and Martinez and guys like that out there, they probably will a nick a goal or two and get this thing won. But yeah, their depth is definitely being going to be tested for here because I would say that they're missing their two best midfielders and their starting keeper and one of the starting back line who I believe he's their captain, right? Skriniar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's a decent hole in the team, but yeah, I think them in a bounce back spot here is a decent play because you could see, I mean, they're in danger of dropping out. Like Atalanta and Roma are right on their ass for Champions
Oh
League.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Lazio's fraudulent. They're not very good. I don't see them finishing top four. Yeah, Cremonese's scored 14 goals in 19 games and given up 33. I just don't see them beating Inter,
no,
even though they're at home. Inter's just got way too much finishing quality, and even like Inter's backups they're instant starters for Cremonese.
yeah, yeah. I think it'll be a fun one. I think both teams to score might be in play in that one, but again, it'll probably just be wait to see who's starting. do a Martinez goal, that type of a thing. Maybe a DeMarco or a Dumfries assist or something.
Yeah, if they play Dumfries in the midfield, I love him for an assist. I like his shots. I like his shots on target. Dumfries, if you guys remember, I hyped him up a ton for Netherlands in the World Cup. He delivered, especially against us. And he played. I made a killing on him in Champions League when they have him playing on the left in the middle there because he definitely loves to press forward and get involved in the attack. So I like when Dumfries gets tick. He's very undervalued, and you get some player friendly prices on him, even against garbage teams like Cremonese.
Yeah, now that it's 1:30, I'm heading out to Leipzig's Twitter, and I'm going to see if they've posted their lineup, and they just did. Yep. So it looks like Werner and Silva are both starting. Danny Olmo as well. So yeah, I think I don't see any reason to not jump in here. Now your boy's not playing, or he's not in the starting lineup.
Yeah,
Swede. So Forsberg
I'm
looks
not
like
surprised there, but
could be super sub for them. But yeah, I'm gonna probably fire up these Leipzig props that I was talking about. So I'm gonna do uh, first half team total, and I don't know if Eli can pull up anything to kind of show you that, but if you want to navigate to the game, obviously Bundesliga or just upcoming soccer matches. If you go to that soccer tab, and then you can go to the goals tab and scroll on down to first half, and then make sure you're on the home team, uh, and you want to go down to home team first half over plus 215. So I'm going to jump in on that. Let's see what my limit is. 93 bones. All right. We're going to jump in on that. And then the overall team total, gosh, I do think they get, I think they get 3 goals today in the match. I'll probably lock that one in too. But yeah, just keep an eye out on in my channel. I'll send out a couple more plays, but I wanted to get a play live for the Twitch viewers. You got anything you wanted to fire off on for that, or you need some more
no,
time?
I need time to shop Olmo assist numbers.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm gonna take Olmo for an assist.
cool.
Um, for the weekend, I don't know. There's some
Bundesliga's looking great.
interesting matches in Bundesliga. Hertha Berlin versus Union Berlin. That's a derby. That's a Berlin derby. Definitely some interest there. I like both teams to score over 2.5. Union Berlin is playing some good football. I believe they're second on the table now. Yeah, they're second on the table now. Hethra has not been playing great football, but they do get goals. They've scored 20 in 17 matches. This is a home match for them, but in a same city derby, there's not nearly as much home advantage, except for they specifically sell more tickets to the home crowd. Union Berlin's playing far better football. I like the young American PFOC over there. Union Berlin. They've scored 29. They've conceded 22 in 17 games. Yeah, I think this is a nice, interesting derby match that definitely has some goals in it.
Yeah, I just shopped around um, for. I'm sorry, I was still kind of stuck. I'm on Bundesliga with it. I'm in the same book, but I'm just a page behind because I'm still uh, obsessing over this lineup getting dropped. So I'm on. If you have Canby books, and you can play goal scorers, Timo Werner over there is plus 130, and he's minus 105 on FanDuel. So I would say if you're interested in playing it, to zip over to that book if you want a Timo goal. But I apologize. I was listening, but I was also not listening at the same time. So if you want to just hit me with the quick cliff notes again on that, and I can react.
Berlin Derby, Hethra Berlin versus Union Berlin.
Okay. All right. So it's I lean Union here in this, but at the same time, I think both teams to score and overs might be the way to play it. They've got Barons hit the ground running for Berlin. I think he scored in midweek, took a nice goal there, nice finish. So potentially looked at him for a goal in that match, and I passed it up, and I'm annoyed because I took Hoffman from Bochum instead of Barons, and of course Barons nets and Hoffman doesn't. But yeah, I think this is a fun one, and as we've seen in these since the restart here in Germany, goals are flying in. This league has been very fun to watch, so I would recommend going that route. But of course, you can wait until Saturday morning to see these things. I think I love the shotgun start too in the Bundesliga, where you get 5-6 matches all kick off at once. For you people that love to parlay, I know you're out there. Great league for doing that.
Yeah, up next, Byron plays. Fuck. I'm trying to do something on my tablet right now, so I missed. I pulled away from the screen I was looking at. Yeah, Byron takes on Frankfurt. Frankfurt's been a fucking wagon on the road. Byron, you're in the fucking mud, dude. People aren't gonna like to hear this. Jamal Musiala,
Out of
fuck
form.
you, dude. Like you
Yeah.
can't you can't be starting over Mueller anymore. I'm sorry. Mueller brings too much to the table. He's a vocal leader. He can direct traffic on the pitch and put people in good spots while he's still being in good, dangerous spots. I think if you've watched the last two Byron matches, it's very clear that their play improves when Mueller steps on the pitch. So Mueller has to be in this lineup for me if he's healthy. Gnabry, you're not playing great. So if you really like, if Byron's manager really has to have Musiala in the lineup, I slide him out to the left wing and put Mueller centrally. Or you could replace El Chapo with Musiala too. He could play striker for you. I think that Sane has been playing good enough on the right that his spot's not in jeopardy. And I'm not saying that Gnabry's a bad player or won't get back in this lineup. He's just struggling right now, which sucks because he probably should have had a goal in the first half of that game at RB Leipzig, but it took a little deflection and hit the woodwork, and he's just struggled with his service, struggled with his finishing. Byron altogether has struggled.
His
What's
assist,
up?
his assist for Choupo-Moting's goal was nasty.
It
Uh,
was. It was
yeah, that
definitely
was
nice.
that was
Um,
huge. But yeah,
but
he's beefing
Musiala can do the same thing over there.
he's beefing with Nagelsmann because he left to go to a fashion week thing, and he wanted him. It was like, oh, the players, they can do what they want with their time off, but one of those overbearing management situations that you're trying to police your off time. But yeah, it's they gotta figure out how to make it click for sure. And Musiala in these last two matches, I've been on the kid both times, and
So have I.
his
His prices reflect the fact that,
yeah, he's out of form. I'm not on him this
yeah,
time. I'll tell you that, but it'll probably burn me. I probably should go one more time just because if he pops off for a goal and an assist and I'm not on it, I'm going to be pissed off.
yeah, welcome to my life with Griezmann last week. I decided to stop dying on the Griezmann hill, and that backfired in my face, which happens. But yeah, I mean, I like this one's got both teams to score written all over it. Frankfurt, like I said, fucking wagon on the road this year. Playing really good football in form right now versus Byron, who's not in good form. I think Byron is being a little too clinical with their selections. And I know that clinical can be good, but you can also create space and move people out of position because people are playing Byron super tough defensively. RB looked super organized against them. They played, they packed the box well. They moved super well in formation and in unison. It was a hell of a thing to watch. So yeah, I think they need to be a little less clinical and start just fucking peppering the net because when you do that, you force guys to move out of their good defensive positions, and that can help create space for your players, which are very dangerous in space. So yeah, I think they need to just start peppering the net. They also look much better when they're not possessing the football and they're playing in stride and counter. So something to keep an eye on if you're a Byron supporter. Definitely something to look at. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton of confidence in Byron right now, and they're running into a buzzsaw of Frankfurt. Normally, I'd say Byron at home, it's a fucking wrap, but not how they're playing right now.
Yeah, Frankfurt are they're an interesting side for sure. Like when they're up for it and in form, they've got some players that could hurt Bayern here. Gotza, they'll know well, a former Bayern player. Um, Sebastian Rode, he's also a former Bayern player there in midfield if he's going to be playing. So, but yeah, Colomwani, I was on him midweek. He netted, played for France after Benzema was left out of the side. He got the call up, had the big chance that Martinez saved there in extra time. But yeah, he's not great at finishing, but he is a young player who is growing, and they seem to give him the full 90. So with players like Kamada and Lindstrom and Gotza kind of pulling the strings around him, um, this Bayern team can be countered on for sure. Upamecano and Delit, they're okay. I would say they're both B plus. They're not A defenders, and
I
so
disagree on Delit.
you think Delit's an A defender?
I think Delit's very, very good. I think Pavard kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's I well, and we'll
I
say
think Delit absolutely bodied Silva in that RB Leipzig game. I think Delit got in his head and ran and made Silva play like shit. Like I think he bodied Silva in that RB
yeah.
Leipzig game.
I think he's so young still, so I think he has room to grow. He didn't have the advantage of like a Van Dyke. I'll use as an example. His fellow Dutchman. Delit's played for Juve and Bayern, and he's still only 23. For center defensive,
They paid 100 million for him to get
yeah,
him out of Juve.
yeah. For center backs, usually you don't see them hit their best form until their late 20s. It's just that experience of being able to read the game. It only comes with time. Matches
I
and matches
kind
and
of
matches.
agree with Frick Shrimp. Sorry, I
What do
didn't
you
mean
say?
to
What
cut
you
you
saying?
off.
No, no, you're
I,
good.
I kind of agree with Frick Shrimp on Delit never got to play for a good manager at Juve. Allegri played for him. Allegri played great football. He played defensive, he played defensive football. But yeah, uh, I'll let you finish and then I'll come
Yeah,
back with
I think Delit is we'll see his true evolution in probably another 2 to 3 seasons. And then
that's what
also,
it takes.
yeah, this Bayern team, they're implementing a new keeper. They just signed Summer, and he's a different type of keeper than what they have had with Neuer. Neuer is so vocal and so, he kind of revolutionized that sweeper keeper. And Summer is much more of an on the line shot stopper. And so just trying to get that all, it just takes time. Just the subtle things. If you played, you'll know like that those three, your two center halves and your keeper, there needs to be an understanding of where they're going to be without even needing to look, and how you want the ball received. Does he like it on his left foot, on his right foot? Does there's all these little intricacies that it just takes time to build. So I do think I'm not going to load up on Bayern like I have, because they have kicked my ass these first two matches back.
No
I will,
shit. Dang.
yeah, I will grab a slice or two. But yeah, I'm going to be cautiously entering that match, and just kind of. I wouldn't mind to see, like you mentioned, to kick it off in your analysis. I want to see Mueller from the start. Whether that means Musiala comes off of the from the bench, or that means, because I don't think Mueller's a number 9 anymore. Like he when he was younger and he had more legs, he could play number 9 a little more effectively, but he just is that perfect kind of complementary second striker or a number 10. And um yeah, I want to see what happens here. I think they need a response. The pressure is definitely mounting on Nagelsmann. They don't love him there anyway. So if they fail to get 3 points here, you'll see some pressure mounting on this guy, and more than he's already got. So I'm sure we
Yeah,
can.
that's what happens when you're expected to be a top side and have UCL aspirations. Not getting results for 3 to 4 games in a row, you see mad overreactions for every team that has UCL championship aspirations. So that's the kind of pressure that is on these guys. Um, Going back to Delit, yeah, I mean, it always takes defensive and especially like center backs longer to develop because it takes people's bodies longer to develop. Like, that's a grown ass man position. So when you got 19, 20, 21, 22-year olds playing there, they haven't fully developed into their body yet. And they have a lot of work to do in the weight room and just waiting to mature because your body matures at whatever rate it's going to. And you don't start to see that development until later in your career typically. But yeah, I mean, I can't even remember what we were talking about as far as gambling goes. I like both teams to score over 2.5.
Yeah, I'll wait to see the lineups for sure. I think I may, whatever the value is, player prop wise. Once we see those lineups drop, I'll probably sprinkle in on those. But Pavard looks like he's been pushing higher and higher, and he's due for a goal here. He's been having a couple shots on target here in the last 2 matches. Uh,
Wow,
he
if you guys haven't watched Byron, Kimmich is running that entire fucking team. He's the fucking man on the pitch right
that
now.
was
Um,
a golazo from Kimmich in that last
that
match.
was a fucking worldie.
Yeah, it was a beaut. I love one that goes in off the underside of the crossbar too. It adds that extra oomph for whatever reason. Um, Anything else in Bundesliga you like?
No, I mean, I want to comment on chat. Somebody in chat said Wolfsburg's cooking. Yeah, I killed Wolfsburg and buried them in my fucking yard last year. It's time to dig them up. Wolfsburg's good again, which is nice to see. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a ton there. I don't have a ton in Spain on Saturday. We'll talk about Girona versus Barcelona just because the number's semi-bettable on Barca this week. Girona at home gets fucking goals, dude. They just do. Tati Castellanos over there is having himself a nice season. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see both teams to score here. You get Barcelona for under 200 for once. So if you like Barca, this might be the week to take them.
And this is the last match of Lewandowski's La Liga suspension, if I'm not mistaken. So, and you've also got to deal with Ferran Torres suspended for his like wrestling match that he had too. So, Barcelona's depth is going to be tested at the top end of the pitch. I'm sure we'll probably see Ansu Fati start as the center forward. So whatever his price is for a goal, I'm going to probably, excuse me, jump on that. Dembele, nice finish at the near post, beating the keeper. Here in midweek, he's almost
I
a
don't know.
top.
The ref fucking ruined that game.
What happened?
The ref fucking ruined that game with that red card.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a shocking tackle. Studs up above the ankle. Like, I mean, it was. I think you had to give him red there. I don't think the ref had any
I
choice.
don't know. When I saw what his threshold for a yellow was, that seemed pretty soft. Again, I'm not gonna argue it was red. It was a bad tackle, but like that fucking ruined the game. Like 30 minutes into a Copa del Rey game
Yeah,
with the number 1 and number 3 team on the table, like that ruined the fucking game. Again, bad tackle, but he established early that his threshold for what a card was a lot higher.
yeah. I mean, eventually, that it what he didn't give red on the field. When he
Right,
first
it had
scored.
to go to VAR, which again, when you look at anything in slow motion, it
Yeah,
looks terrible.
it was it was a bad tackle. I would have given red if I was the official. I'm more sensitive to above the ankle studs up tackles like that on plant foots because I've seen so many Arsenal players get their legs broken from tackles like that, and
I'm
it,
not, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not disagreeing that it was a
right,
red. I'm just
okay.
saying that red card in the 31st minute ruined the fucking game.
So yeah,
Um,
the
Now that's a
boneheaded
little bit on
player,
the Sociedad player for making a shitty tackle.
yeah,
Um, but
but
yeah, no, Moneybags wanted you to run through your Leipzig plays again. I found
yeah.
Omo assist at plus 295 on points bet. That's an instant play for me. He's plus 175, plus 190 everywhere else.
And I am on Canby Books. So your Sugar House, your Bet Rivers, your Barstool. I don't know if it's still this price, but Timo Werner is plus 130. That's what I
125 on
like.
Barstool
Okay,
right
it's
now.
starting to trickle down here. And then I'm on a team total over 1.5 in the first half for Leipzig. So that is plus 215. I did not shop that around. So there may be, a little bit value here and there, different, just depending. I like Leipzig to start fast here, but yeah, back to the Barcelona. I mean, I think, like I said, Fati, I would assume starts as the center forward. Dembele in good form for with no Lewandowski. Uh, gosh, I would think um, he probably steps up and takes pens at that point too. Rafinha, ha- he's kind of in and out of the team, but I feel like this is a good spot for Rafinha. Um, yeah, Barcelona for me when I look at him, I always more important than anything, I want to see what that back four looks like. If it's Araujo and Kunde in the middle, I like it and it's strong. When they start moving things around a little bit, it gets a little bit dicier. I know Kunde played some right back, but I just feel like that is their best center half pairing, and it gives them the most solidity. When they sprinkle in Garcia or somebody like that, it starts to get me nervous. Or heaven forbid, somebody like a Marcus Alonso back at center back, it gets a little crazy. But yeah, tough to say. But I think once you see that front three, um, Fati will be that guy that gets to play through the middle. I'm assuming because Dembele he's better coming in off the right and cutting in on that left foot. But he could play on the left. He's just as good with his right foot. That goal he had midweek was a right footed goal. And if Rafinha's coming in, just imagine, does Xavi want to play inverted wingers or more traditional style? So yeah, that's all I've got. Unless you got anything else you want to talk about.
Nope. I do want to talk to Moneybags in the chat though. Just like I was saying in the midweek Barca match, like, yo, tell me that wasn't a red. Tell me that wasn't a second yellow. If you really think that that red card ruined the Madrid game and that Madrid wasn't going to win that in extras, tell me that wasn't a yellow. Tell me he didn't deserve to be sent off, and we'll have a conversation. Atleti has knocked Madrid out of Copa del Rey exactly 3 times. They did it once in the 60s, they did it once in 92, and they did it once in 13. Atleti wasn't winning that game. Yeah, it was. It was a yellow. See, like, again, like I said with the red card, it was a bad tackle by the Sociedad guy. And you want to see him not make it, but it was a red. Like, I'll give you that. It was a red. It just ruined the game. Like, a red in the first half is going to ruin the game between a two teams competing for UCL this year. So just wanted to touch on that since I always like to engage with chat and talk soccer.
Yeah.
So we'll keep moving from there. The only other game that I have a betting interest in on Saturday is Marseille versus Monaco. I don't love betting French league, but Marseille at home, playing a Monaco team that's playing well. Marseille gets buckets. Monaco gets buckets. I love both teams to score over 2.5 there, right around even money.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, I'll let you go in a second. Moneybags, like, yo, that was terrible managing by Atleti. Like, they tried to park the bus on Madrid with 25 minutes left to play. Like, subbing off your striker for Witzel, who got fucking cooked, by the way, by Vinny. Vinny fucking ate his lunch on that goal. But yeah, that was just terrible substitution. You can't try and park the bus for 25 minutes against Madrid in their building, Simeone. Come on, you're better than that.
I got a special shout out. I'm always harsh on Rodrigo. I think he's kind of
I think he's
and
awesome.
he's young, and so again, I try not to go crazy criticizing young players, but I find him to be wasteful. But a great goal, nonetheless. I think he got a little fortunate. I know he didn't mean one of those touches that moved the ball into space for him, but you can't take anything away. It was a really nice run and a nice finish. But yeah, Madrid. I mean, this is the script for Madrid. They start slow and they are the cardiac kids. You know what I mean? They're just they know that they've got a chin. You know, for a boxing
Oh yeah,
analogy. Like
that's
they're
100% why I refuse to watch Madrid matches with anybody but my dad and leg. Because, like, somebody scores a goal on Madrid, it's over, it's over. It's like, yo, have you watched Madrid at all in the last 2 fucking years? Like, this is what we do. Madrid are the fucking comeback kids. Like, back against the wall, down a goal in their own building for 25 minutes. I knew Madrid was coming out of there. Like, there's no way somebody's gonna fucking clean sheet us in the White House. Like, it's not happening. Anyway,
yeah, it was
um,
a that was fun. I mean, I think they can uh the final's going to be fun. We'll just say that. You know, we're
yeah,
going to
I
get
mean,
nothing.
if anybody wants to walk back their Vinny and Madrid slander after we lost a Mickey Mouse Super Cup in Saudi and dropped kind of a shitty game to Villarreal, like, if anybody wants to walk back the slander that I saw on Twitter and in Discord on a 4-loss in all competitions Madrid team, you're welcome to walk that back anytime.
I think what people are saying is like that there's something wrong with the Madrid midfield. You can't deny it, and they do have a problem at fullback. And so it's one of those things that when your standard is like the very crescendo of the game,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
are the standard. Yeah,
yeah,
we are the standard. We're
the
holding a
very
double and we're going for a triple.
right, the very top end where people expect excellence in every game. It's the problem where Madrid are at. Where same thing with City, same thing in any of these matches where you get, you're a Champions League semifinalist, like type of tier of a club. It's like people are going to nitpick and they're going to poke holes wherever they can find them. And I mean, to be fair to Madrid, yeah, like they've won everything, but they need replacements in midfield for Cruz and
Of
for
course
Modric.
they do.
Right. And so and right back right now is I mean Nacho and Carvajal and stuff like
When
they
when Carvajal's healthy, he's a world class player.
well
Problem is he's not healthy all the time.
yeah, he's
Um,
old and getting up there. So I think people just want to see refreshments there. I think Rudiger has been a pretty good signing for them, and Militao has been solid too. So I mean, it's just that's what happens when you've had such good returns, and then they start to diminish a little bit. People are like, "Where's the money? Where the money train stopped?" And so
no, it didn't. It's all in young Brazilians. Like
yeah,
if you guys aren't don't follow Madrid like I do, this is our reloading season and we're still winning titles. Like
there's
Madrid are good for the next 10 years if these young Brazilians pan out. I do want to see our young Brazilian right back get some tech, but I completely understand we need points. So you go with Nacho.
and
Which again, right back isn't his position. And I was critical of him early in that Copa del Rey game. He ended up playing very, very well after about the 25th minute. But that's what Nacho gives you. He's gonna give he
yeah,
starts a little bit slow, and when you move him around in all sorts of different positions, he eventually finds his place and gels. Like that's who he is. He's a savvy veteran, and he's a great piece for us to have. But when you need points and you got to win a game, I completely understand playing him over the 19-year-old Brazilian that I would like to see get some tick. But we're taking Copa del Rey serious. We need every point we can get in the league. We need our Champions League. So, when is he going to get tick? Probably at a home game versus Getafe, at a home game versus Elche, at a home game versus some of these bottom feeder teams is when we'll start seeing the young Brazilian out there at right back. So, I get it. But yeah, like Madrid is loaded up for years to come. I definitely agree that Tony Cruz looks off right now, and that's okay. Because I don't need Tony Cruz playing his best football right now. I need him playing his best football in February when we go play UCL. Modric, again, a lot of minutes on his legs this year. Obviously, with playing for Croatia, with him getting some rest, because again, when I need him is in February when we go try and run back to back UCL titles. Kamavinga is playing lights fucking out. He is the engine in that midfield right now. He's playing great. I don't know why we're talking about Madrid when we got other gambling stuff that we can be covering.
people are
So
interested in it. They
yeah,
would get you out on a tangent. That's always fun. It's fun to hear your thoughts, and people would rather talk hot stove with the big clubs than they would gambling
yeah. Then
angle
some
small
of these
clubs.
smaller games. I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um, I think that's a good segue though, since we have lineups for City Arsenal. I think we can start to talk about that one.
Do it.
Um, Eli sent us the lineup for he sent us both lineups. All right, so I don't know how you fade Martz right now. He's playing great football. He's getting fucking buckets everywhere every time he steps on the pitch. So I like Mahrez a lot for a goal today. I love both teams to score over 2.5 here. I think, Arsenal is very capable of scoring. City, obviously, always super dangerous with Holland, Mahrez, KDB, all those guys. So I like both teams to score over 2.5. That's probably my favorite play. You're getting some very, very disrespectful odds on anything Arsenal. So if you like Arsenal goal scorers as far as Nikita, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, any of those guys, those numbers are great. They're borderline shot on target, even money numbers. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like goals in this game. City aren't playing super great. I think Arsenal could catch them lacking here. I think if you can still get Arsenal at double chance for plus money, I'd probably play that. Um, I don't love City for an outright win here. I certainly don't love it at minus 135. But yeah, there's I think there's goals in this game, one by each team, and somebody tries to go get a fucking winner.
Yeah, so looking at it, deep dive, no Ederson in net for City. Lewis, the young kids playing right wing back or right midfield when they have the ball, right attacking mid when like that kid, he's all over the place. He's like a young Alexander Arnold kind of with his positional freedom. But
City
Stones,
drops all the way to minus 175. There's definitely value on Arsenal double chance.
so Stones, Akanji, and Aki is going to be left back. Gundogan and Rodrigo with De Bruyne, Mahrez, Grealish, Holland. Okay. I mean, attacking lineup from City here. Uh, if there are, I mean, there are some weak spots with Lewis, attacking down that left flank, and then Ortega Moreno in net is definitely a big drop off from Ederson. Arsenal side of things, Turner comes in for Ramsdale. Turner's done nothing wrong since he's been in an Arsenal shirt. So um, Tomiyasu, nice. I like his aerial presence. He's strong. Out there he'll be dealing with Jack Grealish. Uh, Holding worries me in the middle. Uh, I think Holland is going to get up right up on Rob Holding, and he's faster than Rob Holding too. It's going to be that I think that's a potential weak spot here in this Arsenal side. Um, Holland running in behind or out muscling, out jumping Rob Holding. Tierney has plenty of speed to deal with Mares, but
Bologna just scored a second, guys. Sorry,
oh,
didn't
so
mean
you
to
gotta
cut you
you
off.
gotta sweat 10 minutes here for no goal,
A
right?
little less than 10. Maybe a little more than 10. Yeah, 78th minute goal for Bologna.
Nice. Well, yeah. Hopefully that just we play no extra time. We just blow the whistle right at 90 there. So you can cash that bad boy. Xhaka and Party in the midfield is strong. I think we can handle Gundogan and Rodrigo, but Vieira in the side instead of Odegaard, it worries me. He's a definite drop off of quality from Odegaard. Um, Trossard brings a little more potential, some creativity. Uh, with Martinelli, he's not nearly as fast as Martinelli, and Martinelli's more direct. So that'll be an interesting one. I'm assuming he's playing off the left. Uh, Nketiah through the middle and Saka on his normal right hand side. So, um, gosh, it's going to be key. I mean, key battles: Nathan Aki and Bakayo Saka, uh, and how Rob Holding is dealing with Holland. So, if I were to play anything, I do like your both teams to score angle. We haven't had a happy hunting at the City ground in several years, going back to when Pep came. Um, it's just they've had a pretty big gap in quality over us over that period of time, and so I do, as a fan of Arsenal, I love the FA Cup. It's a tournament that's close to my heart, but I wouldn't be mad if we went out here. I honestly would rather us keep our focus in um, the Premier League, and I know we've got Europa League matches as well coming up here. So any more fixtures is, in my opinion, is just adding congestion to the calendar. Um, let City go ahead and play all the games that they need. Load up their schedule. Give them FA Cup games. Give them anything we can to throw more things in their way. I'm here for it. So I think the play is a Holland win cast. I'll be honest. I think that they will go through. Um, I just worry.
Just
Rob Holding in the back is it's worrisome for me big time. I think and no Zinchenko in the side instead of Tierney. I think Zinchenko adds a lot of element to our ability to hold the ball and launch counterattacks. Um, yeah, I don't love it. I just we'll see what happens here. But City have started slow. Tottenham got out to that 2-0 lead, and of course City was
oh,
really second half. Go ahead,
you guys
Oaks.
can all thank me for that City win because at halftime I tweeted City, thanks for coming out, and then they came out and scored 3 goals. So yeah, I reverse jinxed that. You can all thank me for the Holland Wincast cashing and for City winning that game. Shout
I
out.
was on Spurs double chance for that one. I knew that they would they just play perfectly against City. City want the ball, they want to press, and Spurs don't want the ball. They just want to counter. So it's like, good foil. They did the double over them last year. I thought with a 2 goal lead, I thought I was going to be cashing that ticket pretty comfortably, but yeah, they totally shit their pants in that first like 20 minutes of that second half. Uh,
Yep.
so it was kind of a win-win because I got to see Spurs get turned over, which is always fun. Um, but it's never fun to lose.
Mahrez, by the way, is plus 290 to score on Barstool. That is an ignorant price for a guy who's scoring at a clip like he is right now.
Yeah, Mares, he without having any other left-footed kind of, I just feel like his place is kind of safe right now, or on that right hand side. Um, Foden is out with a foot injury, I believe. So the only other player that I could see coming in um, for Mares would be potentially like Bernardo Silva, uh, maybe Julian Alvarez, but yeah, I think Mares will get a lot of burn in this match. I think he gets to go up against KT. Um, he potentially, I could see that. But what's the best price you can find on a Holland goal right now?
It's not good. It's minus
Yeah,
140, minus 145.
it's almost worth waiting until it gets to plus money, maybe, um, or doing a potential. It's never a bad idea to do De Bruyne assist and a Holland goal. That combo is just so lethal. Um, and that together is plus what 250. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to pick it apart here, but long story short, Arsenal are live, but I do think we'll bow out at this point. We have bigger fish to fry, and I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to bow out at this stage and let City just keep on trucking in this competition while we can go ahead and uh, focus on the league, which is much more important than an FA Cup.
Um, yeah, okay. So I want to touch on it. We got 15 minutes. I want to touch on 3 games before we get out of here. Brighton versus Poole in the FA Cup. Brighton gutted out a nice 2-2 result for them. I thought they should have won over last weekend. Gets a dog shit Pool team at home. I like Brighton on the money line. Uh, I like Brighton. You could get draw no bet right around minus 110 to even money at home versus Pool. I have no idea where goals are coming from for Pool, other than if Salah gets a penalty kick. So I like Brighton at home there. Draw no bet right around even money. I think that's a good spot to take.
I would wait. and see they may sell Moises Caicedo. Arsenal are in with a $60 million bid. He's their defensive midfield anchor. And I know that Chelsea are also sniffing around. Who are they not sniffing around, to be honest? But that is their. I mean, he's been a stalwart in the center of that midfield for Brighton. Um, and they lost. What's his face? They went to Spurs. Um, I can't think of his name already. So I know the manager's desperate to hold on to Caicedo until at least the summertime. But it might be hard to turn down that kind of money. But Brighton seemed to do get the asking price. So if he's out, that does kind of leave a hole there in the middle. So um, again, yeah, Liverpool not in the best of form right now. Gakpo hasn't really hit the ground running. I think he will be good, but again, I'm going to give him plenty of time to adjust to a new league and a new system. Klopp's system's not easy to play, and especially as a forward, he asks a lot of you, a lot of running, a lot of closing, and so we'll give him some time. But I think that front three's got some potential there. If Darwin Nunez and Gakpo and Mo Salah are starting, I think I would take Liverpool here in this spot, especially at plus money. I'm willing to go ahead and roll the dice on them. If I can get plus 150, 155, something like that, I think I'll take my chances.
All right. Great game in Germany on Sunday, standalone game. I fucking love this. We got Xavi Alonso ball going against Dortmund. Florian Wirtz is back, people. Like, I don't know if you didn't watch last season or missed the memo. When he went out with an ACL injury, that was a huge, huge letdown for me. Because he's a money fucking printing machine. All that man does is drop dimes. Even the assist he got, it was a shit shot by the guy who finished it, but an absolute dime of an assist. Florian Wirtz assist, always in play for the rest of the season. You see him in the starting lineup, you better be shopping Florian Wirtz assist numbers. When Schick gets healthy, that combo of Wirtz to Schick is going to be lethal. Xavi's got Leverkusen playing some great football. Dortmund, I know, but McAfee isn't impressed with their defense or their keeper, which nobody should be. That said, Dortmund fucking stay in games by getting buckets, and this game has 3, 4, 4, 5 written all over it. Xavi definitely plays a little bit better defense, but Bayern, Leverkusen tends to leak goals, and there's a ton of firepower in this Dortmund offense, especially if Bellingham's back. So yeah, I think both teams to score over 2.5 here. Love a Florian Wirtz assist. And it'll just kind of depend on who starts for Byron. I obviously like Makoku a lot, but Holler's the guy they went and spent big money for. And he played nice as a substitute. I get they're working him in with minutes in the whatever friendly cup game, whatever the fuck it was. He scored a hat trick in 13 minutes. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Sebastian Haller from Ajax, get familiar with him because he's a fucking baller.
Yeah, I mean, Premier League fans will remember Holler as well. He kind of flopped in the Premier League, but he kind of resurged in Holland and showed that he is a real solid finisher when provided with good service. So, um, his type of forward is it can be very effective with teams that can build around it and funnel service in. Um, and I think Dortmund might be that kind of team. If he could be that focal point, uh, I'm not saying he's Holland, but he could be Holland light, diet Holland for
He
this
could be
Dortmund.
Aubameyang. He could be Aubameyang at Dortmund.
Well, Aubameyang, man, that team was so different. Like uh, well, when he was there with Klopp, and it was Aubameyang and Royce and Lewandowski and stuff like that was pretty nuts how much pace and crazy skill that team had. But yeah, I think Dortmund is a good spot for him. I think it's weird what they're trying. Like they got so many good players in their team. Somebody or two or three people are going to be unhappy and have to be kind of super subs. Right now, Gio Reyna is kind of in that super sub role. Scored the winner at the absolute death from, like you mentioned, from Holler, a nice flick on header
Yep.
in that match. Yeah, they're a side that I think they have their limitations. I will fade them against certain teams in certain spots, but where I won't fade them necessarily is at home against teams that they clearly are better than. But yeah, here against Leverkusen on the road, I'm not so sure I'll load up on them. I think you mentioned Verts, him and Diaby, plenty of good attacking players in this Leverkusen side, and when they get Patrick Schick back, uh, this would be a hell of a game for like laddering goals. That this could be a 5-6 goal kind of thriller
Yep.
here. So I'm with you. I do see goals in that match for sure.
Just want to touch on something Moneybags in chat said. Hot take. Potter was holding Brighton back. Brighton is a decent club and they do business well. Potter was holding them back. I didn't think they were a decent club last year when they had like the most missed fucking like the highest XG differential in all of the Premier League. But yeah, Brighton's playing good football right now, and good for them. I mean, I'm on the Brighton train. I remember at the beginning of the year I was telling McAfee Brighton are fucking frauds and don't deserve top four. Then they got rid of Potter and they played good football and actually finished chances now. So yeah, I like how Brighton's playing. Um, Last game before we get out of here, and we'll recap any of the picks that haven't gone live yet. Actually, let's do that now since there's 8 minutes till kick in the RB Leipzig game. McAfee's on team total first half over for Byron over 1.5. It's like plus 230 or something like that. Shop your numbers. He's on RB Leipzig over 3 goals in the match,
Yeah.
which I like too. Team total over 2.5. What was the price on that one?
Like one plus 112. I
Nice.
don't have it right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's that
Ballpark,
price.
yeah. Plus money. And then he's on a. Did you take Werner just for the goal, or did you take the win cast?
I'm just looking for a goal.
I did
Yeah,
too. So I took him at plus 125 over on Barstool, and I'm on Olmo assist, which I got at plus 290 on PointsBet. There's definitely a price discrepancy there. He's plus 175 on DK and plus 190 or something like that on FanDuel. So I definitely like the value, and Olmo is playing great football. So yeah, I I like that. And I'm on a Mahrez goal at plus 295 or something like that. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Mahrez goal plus 290 for half a unit. And then I'm on both teams to score over 2.5 at even money on Barstool for the City versus Arsenal game. That's even money. And I put zero point 0.6 units on that just because I am a little suspect with how Arsenal's running out there. And I am currently I'm thinking about splitting a unit on Saka for a goal or an assist because his goal's like plus 400, and I'm looking for his best assist number, but I've seen like 425 on that.
do you have shots on target, Oaks?
Not in front of me, no.
Yeah,
But they
I'm
should all be right around plus 100.
yeah, I'm looking at one I like a lot, especially if you have the specialized, if it's left foot, right foot, or header. Um, Saka to have one left-footed shot on target is plus 170 on FanDuel. I'm going to take that now, and I'm going to play two as well, just because um, if you get the second one, if you get one, you're free rolling the second. The second one is 12 to 1. Um,
For a
you know,
shot
might as
on
well
target for the whole game?
A left-footed shot on target for the whole game for Saka is plus 170. A second
Okay.
left-footed shot on target is 12 to 1. Saka shoots only with his left foot. He will not shoot with his right foot unless he's just sliding in on the back post. And it so happens that a right-footed tap in is there or something. But even then, I feel like he'd go with the outside of his left boot versus going with the right foot. But there's a few in these that I kind of like as I kind of shop down. Xhaka, same way. He's only shooting with his left foot. Hit one shot
For
on
sure.
target
I
is
I
plus
don't
three.
want to cut you off or rush you, but I did. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off or rush you, but I do want to talk about this Roma Napoli game before we get out here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to fall into the trap that I did with Juve. I know Jose Mourinho over there with Roma defense, blah 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 blah. Jose Mourinho masterclass. Fuck all that. Napoli come in here and they probably skull fuck Roma. Napoli is that good. They are a fucking wagon. Give me Napoli all day. I do like Roma to score. I think Tammy Abrams has been playing well. Tammy Abrams has turned a corner. I know a lot of people banned him earlier in the year, rightfully so. He was playing like shit. He's playing good now. Both teams to score is minus 105. Over 2.5 is plus 100. If you put those together, you get plus 150. I like all three of those props individually. I like Napoli to win here. Napoli team total over. Oshiman goal, special K assist. All of that's going to be very fairly priced. So I like Napoli to roll Roma here. I believe it's in Napoli too. So I think it's going to be really fucking hard for Roma to walk into Naples and try and get a point.
Yeah, and Roma are trying to sell or move on from Zaniolo, and is they if they're dealing with injuries in midfield with like Christine still being out and I know Smalling is dealing with something. Yeah, I'm with you. I would think Napoli, um, they have their way as they do so frequently. I think it could be a pretty. I don't. And who knows? You know, Mourinho. He'll just park the bus and say, "Hey, break us down," and maybe they struggle to really climb any sort of ladders. But I do think that they will win that game.
Nice. Best price on Saka assist is plus 480 on FanDuel. I think I'm going to split a unit on his goal and his assist. I'm getting plus 460 for his goal. I'm getting plus 480 for his assist. That is miles better than his goal or assist prop at plus 210. Split unit, get more value, have the possibility to cash both tickets.
Yeah, I think you got to play Holland to score as well. If you don't want to do the minus 135, just wait until a few minutes into the match. The only worry is if City start fast, but um, yeah, we haven't seen this iteration of Arsenal go up against City um,
We
against
haven't seen
this
any
iteration.
iteration of Arsenal against City this
Yeah,
year.
but it's a fascinating one. I think Arsenal we're in trouble with this lineup. I but I understand rotating a little bit. You can't play the first 11 every time. I think I do see a potential weak point there in Rob Holding. And I do think Mares cutting in potentially could get a take advantage of Tierney a little bit. I would have preferred to see Zinchenko and would have preferred to see uh, Saliba in center defense, but we shall see what happens. I know Leipzig's about to kick off. I got nothing else unless you do.
No, I just wanted to cover that Napoli versus Roma game. I think it's going to be awesome. Um, yeah, I ended up, so I put zero point 0.3 units on Saka to score, zero point 0.3 units on him to assist. I have a decent amount of liability out there today, so I want to just stay within my bankroll, stay on budget, that sort of thing. I don't want to leave myself too overexposed, even though I'm checking the score right now. Yeah, it looks. Yeah, go ahead and cash both those Bologna tickets. So now we're
Yeah,
up.
good idea.
Uh,
Good job.
yeah, thank you. Now we're up over a unit on the day, so I actually might go back in here and dabble on Saka a little bit more after we jump off the call with the show. So we'll see. I don't, I'm obviously not going to roll all my profits back into plays for today. I want to come away up money, but I do like this slate. I really like splitting the unit on Saka to score or assist here. He's got what, 4 and 5 Premier League matches, either goal or assist since being back from the World Cup.
Yeah, Saka's been in good form. And I think those pre-packs, the goal score assist doubles. Interesting one. The Holland to score assisted by Grealish is not listed, although the other ones are pretty much all are. So um, it's a weird one why they don't include that, because I do feel like that's a very viable play. Um, a Grealish assist. I mean, shop it around, of course. Um, and I mean, I'm just kind of talking out loud, different plays here that I think are viable. But yeah, good luck to everybody in your bets, man. I think it's we got a nice little sneaky Good Friday. Let's hope Leipzig train is out and rolling.
Yes, sir. Also, yeah, my if you're in Discord, my day long parlay is still alive with Bologna getting that win. Spies is saying under 2 goals. Next leg is RB Leipzig over to win and over 1.5. I start out with kind of safer plays in the morning. Obviously, there's nothing safe in soccer. And then our big one is I'm on both teams to score in the Spanish game this afternoon, which I'm going to drop as a single here shortly. And I'm on both teams to score over 2.5 in the Arsenal game as the completion of that parlay that I threw up. So, yeah, before we roll, I just want to shout out our sponsors again. Thank you to Gold Boys for hosting, as always. If you guys don't know, we both are handicappers over in Gold Boys Discord. You can get all of our stuff over there pretty much anytime. I've been having to adjust my schedule. I stay up late to watch these fucking Mountain West Conference games in college basketball now, and then I stay up late to get the early lines on college basketball stuff so we can try and be sharp on that and catch some movement. So I've been staying up late and dropping plays at like 2, 3 in the morning just because I have to stay awake to see the end of those games. And prices are great. So and then shout out our sponsors, Pickett. If you're not, you can follow me at Burroaks. You can follow Matkafee. Is it still Matkafee over at
Yeah,
Pickett?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I have the same handle everywhere, so you can find me on Twitter and in the Discord and on Picket, you name it.
Yep.
I think somebody. I'm not on Instagram. I think somebody stole my name on there, but Xbox Live, you name it. You can find me at Mac.
Facts. I'm Burroaks77 on PlayStation too. If anybody wants to squat up, play Fall Guys or FIFA, you got my number. But anyway, if you're not using Pickett, you can sign up with promo code Burroaks, all capitals, promo code McAfee, all capitals. And then our new sponsors, Boom. Thank you very much for sponsoring. I'm going to have some Boom content coming out here in the next week. I just have to familiarize myself with a little bit more of their website and the different props they offer. But thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you guys for coming out. Thanks, Eli, for hosting us. Let's have a day on the pitch and let's burn some bread.
Let's do it.